Today I'm going to teach you how to do a what's called a single crochet two together, and I'm going to teach you this principle by teaching you to make a sphere so that you can make things like this. And so we're going to begin with the basic chain as always, and you start by making a slip knot. So just twist and pull through so you have a loop, and make sure that the long tail is the one that pulls and not this excess yarn that you have. So you have a loop on your hook, and you're going to chain 4. So 1, so yarn over and pull through, and that's 2, yarn over, pull through, 3 and 4. And now we're going to slip stitch into this first chain that we made. And if you can tell, when you have a chain, they make these little V's, and that's how you can count your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then on the back they have these little spines. And the spines is where you're going to slip stitch into, or stitch if you're doing just a long line. So we're going to slip stitch into that little spine. So you insert your hook, you yarn over and pull through both loops that you had on your hook. And now you have a little circle here, a little loop, and you're going to chain 2. And that's going to count as 1 single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet into this loop here that we made. We're going to single crochet in there 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to count our stitches, and you can count by those little V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this original chain 2 counts as 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into that chain 2 space that we made. So insert your hook, yarn over, and bring through both these on your hook. And now we're going to chain 2. And we're going to single crochet into that same chain 2 space. So and that's going to count as 2 single crochets. Now we're going to single crochet twice into each stitch around. So we're going to have a total of 12 single crochets at the end. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 space we made. Slip stitch. And now you're going to start to see a pattern emerge. So we're going to chain 2, and this is the 3rd row, and we're still increasing. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet into that first chain 2 space we made that we just slip stitched into. So single crochet, and that's going to count as 2 single crochets there in that row, and then we'll single crochet once into the next single crochet, so that's 3 stitches, then 2 single crochets in the next one, and then 1 single crochet in the next single crochet. So you've got a repeat of 3 stitches going. You're going to put 2 single crochets into 1 stitch and then 1 into the next stitch, so that makes 3, and you're going to repeat that over and over. So we'll put 2 into this one, 1 into the next one, 2, 3, 1, and 2 into this one, 1, 2, and then the 3rd piece of your repeat into the next one, 3, 1, 2, and then 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into that final, into that first chain 2 space. So that's round 3, and then what we're going to do so that it will start to be a sphere rather than a circle is we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. So you chain 2, and that counts as your first single crochet, and then you single crochet in the next one, and in each around 1. And you'll notice that a lip is starting to form, so you have kind of the start of a bowl there on the inside. And you're going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 space, as always. So we have our little bowl, and that's the 4th round we just finished. And now we're going to start increasing again. And so we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do another single crochet within that space, that chain 2 space. So that counts as 2 single crochets in that space. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet in the following stitch, just 1. And then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, And then in the next 2 single crochets, we're only going to do 1 single crochet. 2. So that's a repeat of 4. So 1, 2, 2 single crochets in that next stitch, and then 1 in the following stitch, and 1 in the following stitch. So that's 4. And then our repeat starts over. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, in the following stitch only 1, 3, in the next stitch only 1, 4, and it continues the repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're just going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 space again. And that, we're just making a small ball, so that's going to be our last increase. So what we're going to do now is we're going to single crochet and chain 2, sorry. And then we're going to just do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. So just like we did for row 4. And you want to make sure that you have plenty of slack because you don't want your stitches to get too tight. If you're not sure if you've missed a stitch, then what you want to do is you're going to turn it around and you'll see these little V's here, and you can count how many stitches you have. And I will count at the end of this row so that we make sure that we have the right amount of stitches all the way around. Oh, messed that stitch up a little bit. Turned into a slip stitch rather than a single crochet. In this last stitch. So we should have 24 stitches, but we're going to count to make sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Perfect. So we're going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 space. We're actually going to repeat that again, and that was just row 6 that we made. So for row 7, we're going to do the exact same thing. And that's going to make our bowl more defined, so you can tell that it's starting to round out and become a sphere. So chain 2, and then single crochet in each stitch around. So now we have a total of 24 stitches again in that row. We're going to slip stitch into that first chain 2 spot. And now we are going to do that one more time where we just repeat that row from row 6 so that we have 3 rows that are exactly the same. So chain 2, and single crochet in each stitch around. And slip stitch into that first chain 2 space. So now we have a really definite bowl, which is perfect. And this is where we start with that concept of single crochet 2 together. So we're going to chain 2 again, then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. So that counts as 2 single crochets because that chain 2 counts as a single crochet. And then we are going to single crochet 2 together. So what that means is we're going to insert our hook into that next stitch, pull up a loop, so now you have 2 loops on your hook, 2, and then you're going to insert your hook into that next stitch as well, pull up a loop, so now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that just made 1 stitch, and you stitch 2 of the stitches below together. So we're going to do that again, but first we're going to single crochet in the next stitch 1 and single crochet into the next stitch. And now we're going to do that same single crochet 2 together. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, so we have 2 now. Now insert your hook into that next stitch, pull up a loop, and now you have 3 loops, and you're going to pull through all 3. Perfect. And now we're going to, so we started a repeat there, so we're going to single crochet 2, 1 in each of the following stitches, so not 2 and 1, but so there's 1 single crochet in that stitch, so in the next stitch I'll do 1 single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So pull up a loop, so 2 loops, pull up a loop, and pull through. And that's how we decrease. That's going to be your standard way to do decrease. When I first started crocheting, I just skipped a stitch, and it starts to make it look pretty wonky. So you're definitely going to want to do the single crochet 2 together. So what I just did was I single crocheted 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together again. So I have 3 loops. I'm going to pull through all 3 of them. Then we're going to start our repeat over, so single crochet 1 in that stitch, single crochet 1 in the next stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. So insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, and pull through both. And then so 1 single crochet, and these are the last 2 stitches in the row. I'm going to single crochet 2 together, so pull up that loop, so 3, and pull through all 3, and then we'll slip stitch back into that first. So that was our first decrease. So now we have a total of 18 stitches in there, and that I just know because we have we made 3 stitches for every 4 that we had before. So, but I'll count so I can show you for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 18 stitches. Now you should chain 2 again, which is the start of each of our rows. And we are going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 17 and 18, and then we'll slip stitch into that first chain 2 space. Perfect, and you can tell now that there is a ball forming. Pretty cool. And now we're going to decrease this again. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 like the beginning every time, and then in the next 2 stitches we're going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together. So pull up that second loop, and then insert, and pull up that third loop, and then and pull through both those. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, which is the beginning of our repeat, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So pull up, so 2, and then pull up another loop in the next single crochet, so 3 loops, and yarn over and pull through both. And then that's the end of our repeat. So I'm going to single crochet and then single crochet 2 together. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet and single crochet 2 together, now we're going to single crochet and single crochet 2 together. So what we did was we subtracted 6 stitches in there. So we went down from 18 stitches to 12 total. And now we only have like a little hole in the top, which is perfect. So you're making a ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to stuff it with some stuffing. And I'll go grab that. So now I have a handful of stuffing. We're just going to put it into our little circle that we have in the top. And that was maybe a little much, so we don't need all that. So it makes it nice and round. A little ball. Perfect. You've still got a nice big hole in the top, which is perfect. Let me find our loop. Put a hook back in. So now we have a total of 12 stitches. We want to go back down to 6, which is what we had originally in our first row. In our very first row, we made 6 single crochet. So to do that, we're going to do that skipping a stitch here. So we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip this next single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. And then the next one, we're going to single crochet 2 together. So now we have a total of 3 stitches because that chain 2 counts as a stitch. So that's 3 stitches. Single crochet the next 2 together. 4 stitches. Single crochet the next 2 together. 5 stitches, and then the final 2. And then just slip stitch back into that chain 2 space. And you have made a little ball. So we're just going to fasten off. Super easy. We'll just cut our little tail here. So we have a little tail hanging off in that loop. We just pull that tail through and pull that tail closed. And the really great thing about these little balls is you don't have to really weave in your end. All you have to do is just stick your hook in a random hole somewhere around here and up through that center hole. Pull that, wrap that little tail around there and pull it into the middle of the ball. And then pull your hook out. And then you have a little ball that you made. Perfect.